Hi guys, today we're going to start making some game assets, and a great place to start is something simple like a barrel. I need a lot of practice making some game assets, so I figure I might as well record it and share it with you guys. All of the game assets that we make in this on this channel will be available on this GitHub repo, so you can feel free to go out there and grab the basic starting point I always use and the palettes and everything. But something we're always going to do is also use Git. So we have a nice clean repo here. The first thing we're going to do is come and make a new branch. And we're making a barrel. So we're gonna start off by making a barrel branch. And then we're going to jump right in here, open up our basic model, and from here we're going to then save as. We're going to make a barrel folder and make our save file called barrel. Make it nice and simple, nice and easy to find. Alright guys, now that we're in our base model here where we always start, it comes with our palette and everything already in place. Let's just come up and call this a barrel. It's good to keep things named, so let's just go right in and get rid of these vertices. Let's add ourselves a cylinder. Let's bump it down to about 8. That's a good number of vertices. Let's scale and shift Z to about half of what that was. We want to add some edges so we can get some good shape here. I think 7's pretty good. Let's do some proportional editing and grab this middle one. And if we just scale it out, we can get a good barrel shape. There we go. Now we're going to be using mirror modifier, so let's get rid of a whole bunch of vertices here. And then let's start adding the mirror modifier because we're going to break out the lid first. So if we just grab all those top vertices, Shift D to duplicate, and then right click to separate the selection. We come back out, we can call that the lid. Let's go back in. If we come over to this side, we can now get rid of a lot more vertices that we don't need. We want to manipulate the fewest vertices possible while we're working here. So now we have just this few, and we want to grab rings to separate out just like we did the lid. So we're going to grab this top one and this middle one. So if we grab this one and make the two sets of rings a little closer to the same size here, that'll make it easier. Let's go into face select mode here and grab those. And let's Shift D to duplicate those. Oh, I saw we need to make sure we add clipping. And now we need to separate out that selection. Let's tab out and call those the rings. They should have a mirror modifier on them as well. Making sure if we come up and grab the lid, we want to make sure it has clipping as well. Now let's go back to the rings here. Oh, we need to add a lot more of our mirror modifier here so we get our full barrel back. So if we go back to the rings, let's go to solid mode so it's easier to see. And let's extend these out to get some nice shape on those rings. Perfect. And it doesn't need to be perfect. You can change the size of these to whatever fits your style of game. I'm just doing pretty quickly here, so we got a nice thin edge there just so you can tell that their rings sticking out a little further than the wood. Now let's go back to the lid. If we come in and go to vertex select mode, we grab those and fill those in. And you can see we're dead level with the top of the rings here. Let's actually just lower that a little to give us a little bit of a lid. And now for all of the wood around here, we're going to want to add some grooves so we can get we can be able to tell the difference between where the pieces of wood are connecting and not, or not. and it'll just give it a little bit more shape, make it look a little bit better. And the easiest way to do that is to just come in here and add some edge cuts here. And if we just press GG to grab these and slide them over. Oh, let's get rid of that. Proportional editing can cause some big problems for you if you're not careful. All right, now that we have those, we can then just press GZ, and that'll give us some nice grooves. And now we're going to do the same thing to the main part of the barrel. We'll just need to do some edge cuts here, and some edge cuts here. And so if we grab that one and drag it over, grab these, we will just repeat the process here. And then if we grab the middle ones, we can then press scale and shift Z, and that will move them all towards the middle. And that'll give us a nice groove on all of them. Now we have a few extra faces on here that are just hiding behind the rings, and since we're going to be putting this in a game, we should probably just get rid of some of those. So let's go into wireframe mode here and go to the edge select. Let's actually bump that up so it's up in the ring. If we grab this one and go down to about the middle, this one go up all the way, we should be able to then go to face select and grab those faces and just get rid of them. That should have got rid of all of the lines up there. And then these two are just stuck on each other. They're perfectly on top, so we can just go to the mesh here and merge by distance, and we got rid of 7 vertices. So now we have a lot fewer vertices and faces to deal with, and for a game engine to render. So now we need to move on to coloring because we are done with the modeling. And for that, we should probably go into material preview. You can see it's just all over the place at the moment. So if we just grab all of those and come over here and press A and S and scale to 0, we can then move all of those down to the same color. If we just move those down to a nice wooden color, and then come up here and tab in and grab, I did not need to grab multiple things there, there we go. And if we grab all of those, we might need to press U to unwrap them so we can see them over here. And let's move those down to roughly the same exact color as the other one. And then we want to do that to the rings. So if we grab all of those, scale it to 0, move it over to a nice silver color. There we go. And with that, we're almost done with the coloring. I just want to add some different coloring into the grooves here to make it a little darker. Since they should be kind of in the shadows anyways, we'll just kind of make it happen for us. So if we go back to the lid here, we just need to grab the middle pieces here, and then we should be able to just drag that down into a darker brown. And if we come in here and do the same thing, let's actually just select everything and then unselect the big faces and move that down into the darker brown. You can see we now have all of the grooves a little bit darker, and that looks a little bit better. Now, before we can save this off and dump it directly into a game, we are missing something. We're missing the bottom of the lid here. We forgot to mirror it. There we go. Mistakes happen. That's why you got to make sure and look at all sides of your model, because you will miss that kind of stuff. But yeah, as I was saying, before we move this off into a game, we want to make sure that we combine everything back down into a single object, make it a little easier so we don't have multiple objects. What you can do is just save it like this and then open up a new project, or not a new project, but open it up and save it as a new blend file. And then you can like take off the lid and add a little blue bit of water in there if you want it to be a little bit different. But for this one, we're just going to keep it as a plain barrel. So if we just come up here and grab the rings, the lid, and the barrel, and then Control P, and that will parent it. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to join with J. I guess we got to come do it out here. So if we grab the barrel last, we should be able, oh, maybe it's Control J. There we go. And that'll join everything down into the barrel. One last thing we want to do is just grab all the pieces, or not grab all the pieces, we want to make sure we apply our modifier. So it is now just a whole barrel. Another good thing to do when you're at this point is to just make sure that you have merged all of the extra vertices. See, we got rid of 36 there. It's just there's fewer things for the game engine to deal with. And one last thing is to come up here and look at face orientation. So see, the lid is completely wrong. And so we need to come in and just grab the lid here. Grab that. I'm having some problems here. Why am I not grabbing? There we go. Okay. Now we've grabbed those, and if we just press, oh, not 3, but F3 and type in flip normals, there we go. That should fix those. Now everything's blue. So if those things are red, you'll see right through them in the game engine, and that can cause lots of problems. So you want to make sure everything's blue. And sometimes they can be a little tricky to find, but you just got to make sure and go clear around your model to make sure you've seen them all. And then to turn that back off, you just come in and click face orientation, and we are done. We have colored it, we've modeled it, we've gotten rid of all the extra vertices. Now we can just click save. If we want to go out to the camera, it's pretty well viewed there. We'll just render that, and bam. We're in Eevee right now. We're not in cycles, so some of the what am I trying to think of? The shadows are going to be a little bit wrong, but you can fix those by just rendering in cycles, and I will do that before I post a picture up. But for now, we just want to make sure that we save this, and as always, you want to make sure you come out here and make sure that's added in, and we'll just say we made a barrel and commit that, and we can publish that branch out. And with that, we have made a barrel. I have a few other things that I'm probably going to make in the next couple of videos, but if you guys want to see me make something else so you can learn how to make it, please leave it down in the comments and we will start making your guys' ideas. As always, these are out on GitHub for any of you to grab if you just want to grab the game asset and use it in your game. If you do use it in your game, please let me know. I'd love to see them used in action. You'll see them be used in some of the game tutorials I'll be making later. And yeah, if you guys liked this, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with a little bit of a time lapse of the creation of the scene.